Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks, and today I'm going to talk about Jamna Auto. Can double in the next 2 years? Why I believe so. So let's understand about the business and the results. Let's get started. First of all, disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position to any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I talk about Jamna Auto, here's a small request. Kindly come support me on Patreon. Once you do that, help me grow the channel. Help you also ask me questions and eke out answers in greater detail. Once you get the $10 membership, you'll have access to my portfolio, my watch list, and number of podcasts I put up from time to time. For detailed market or company talk, you can directly email me and we can work things out with a fee. And also, if you can pay $100 upfront, you get 1 year access by paying for 10 months. Also, if you cannot pay on Patreon, you can get the WhatsApp membership or other memberships as well. You can directly email me and inquire about that. Now about the company, established in 1954, Jamna Auto is into auto components manufacturing and most of marquee clients are both in the CV and the you can say the bike segment or two-wheeler segment. They primarily make tapered leaf and parabolic springs for CV. So basic their business is into commercial vehicles. Now you need to understand with the higher interest rate burden, I think there will be a lot of pressure on the infrastructure and real estate sectors. So commercial vehicles might end up selling less. So that is why there is so much pressure on the stock, and although stock has done well over the last 1 month or so, but on an overall basis, the tone, I'm sorry, for the sector has remained pretty subdued. So in my opinion, these are pretty good time to buy into, and I'll describe as to how things could pan out over the next couple of years later on in the presentation. So it has global presence with clients across Europe. Their clients include Ashok Leyland, GM, M&M, etc. So they are broad based into all these segments. In terms of numbers, these are this year March's numbers. So market cap of the company is around 4,500 crores. It's moved up 10-15% over the last few weeks. The stock has from around 90-95 levels. Around 85-90 it was just recently. Sales came out to be around 625 crores versus 485, an increase of 32%. Profit of 56 crores was pretty good, a 20% increase year on year. Normally, with the decrease in margins, and margins have dipped for Jamna Auto as well, but most of the auto ancillary companies are coming out with lesser profitability compared to last year. So that is where Jamna Auto has outperformed, and this is where I believe that things could only get better from here. A very low debt, margins have improved over the years, and there's decent combined promoter and institutional holding, 30% with retail investors. And I believe that the recent lows that it made probably in March and or somewhere in early April is perhaps something of a past, and things should move ahead and move better going forward. In terms of the performance, stock has been resilient for the past few weeks. So this is one of the auto ancillary stocks that has kept pace even when the market fell a lot. So it kept on its path with 80 to 90 rupees as its lower end band, and didn't fall below that. Around 85-90 was perhaps the lows, and then whenever the market started to recover a little bit, the stock tried to move up. So right now around 113, 112, the stock moved up to 120 recently from around 90. So that was a 30% jump, and the numbers have been very decent. So it looks like we are looking at a stock that could really outperform once things get going on the auto front, and I think on the manufacturing and auto sector, probably 6 months down the line, you'll see a lot of things happening, because all these things of higher interest cost and interest burden and everything that comes with a lag, probably it's a 2 quarter thing. Inflation may peak out, and then things could look up for the manufacturing sector. So not on an immediate basis, but going forward, things could look good for across auto ancillaries, and those stocks that are outperforming, something like Jamna Auto, could perform extremely well in that environment. So on a 5 year basis, it has not done much, around 8-10% up. Small institutional holding have also increased over the last 2 quarters, and on the ground things are looking better. Although this inflationary pressure has meant that probably numbers for the next 1 quarter at least might not be that great, but I believe second half of FY23 and then FY24 could be extremely good for the manufacturing sector. So I think 2 to 3 years could be extremely bullish for the company, and the returns on the stock could be front ended, and that's why I believe that the stock could easily go up 80 to 100% from the recent lows of around 85-90. So, in my opinion, 170, 180 could be achieved over the next 2 years on the stock. So why I believe this can be big, big numbers have consistently improved, and we have seen year on year. If you look at margins and numbers have consistently become better, especially on the sales front. It has expanded base, and auto as a sector is at an abysmal level at the moment. So you need to agree with me that over the last 3 years, although many sectors have rebounded and have done exceedingly well, but autos and especially auto ancillary sector has not been able to come out with strong numbers, and neither the stocks have performed that well. Although many stocks have doubled, tripled, but there are other sectors in which stocks have gone up 10, 20, even 30 to 40x. So I think the time for auto is not that far off, although I believed 2022 could be big for auto companies, but then we had that market sell off from January, and then we are now in a situation where we are caught up with the kind of inflationary pressure that we are in. I think sales for real estate, etc., may come down, and that is the endeavor of the government. So once this inflationary pressure, once this interest rate hikes peak out, probably in the next 2 quarters or so, things will start looking up. So I'm not looking at 2022, but currently trading at 2 times sales is extremely attractive, and probably by 2024 we could see the stock reasonably high from these levels. I mean, these levels would be a thing of a past, because I think manufacturing will pick up pace once things normalize, and auto as a sector cannot remain at the level that it is at on a longer term basis. So, trading at attractive valuation has been technically strong. This is also an extremely positive thing. In a downtrending market, it has stayed with 80-85 as the lows and did not fall say 60-70%, and the numbers have been pretty strong. So should see move once raw material prices reduce, once the chip shortage thing gets sorted out. I think that there are a lot of issues at the moment, but I think over the next 6 months that should be rectified. So over a 2 year period can see levels of 180 to 200 in that scenario, the way the stocks, the chart, and the numbers are being looked at. In terms of technicals, there's major long-term support around 90 levels. Wait for a 10-11% decline from current levels. I think around 100, one can accumulate around 100, 101, 99, 98. Those will be very good levels to buy into. I think you'll get opportunity over the next 1 month for those levels as well. It is in a strong bull run and looks like can hit new highs very quickly the way it is moving, but it can correct, because the current move over the last 2-3 weeks have been, at least for the last 1 month, have been of 30%. From around 90 it has gone to 120 in no time. So there could be consolidation or decline on the stock, and that is why I believe fresh, if you want to buy a fresh, probably around 95 to 100 would be good levels to get into. So in my opinion, hold if you have, even at higher levels, buy on dips close to 100. And I think cycle is trying to turn around. It's a good 2 year play. No immediate reward. This is not a technical, you can say, a viewpoint. So hold 2 years. I think the returns could be pretty good, and have 5% holding. So this was a video on Jamna Auto. Please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thanks a lot.